The following is a production of The Reporter, Delaware County's leading news source.
January 10th, 2023. The regular meeting of the Franklin Town Board is called to order at 6:07 p.m. by Jeff Taggart, Supervisor. Present were Jeff Taggart, Dwight Bruno, Donnie Smith, Heather Ross, Mark Lang, Paul Warner, and Doug Weber. The minutes were read from the December 6, 2022 meeting. Donnie Smith made the motion to approve minutes as read. Dwight Bruno seconded the motion. Donnie reported that the Franklin Kellogg Trust hasn't met since the last meeting. Doug has looked at the house for handicap accessibility. He says everything looks easily converted to handicap accessible. Heather said there's nothing new with the rec committee. Doug said he is working on the rules and regulations for Airbnbs. Jeff said they had a public hearing for Ed Kluge campsite at the planning board meeting. There was also a boundary line adjustment and a subdivision. The appointments for 2023 were read. Heather made the motion to accept appointments as read. Dwight seconded the motion. Dwight and Jeff will audit the justice's books, and Dwight and Donnie will audit the town books. The ARPA money was discussed. There will be nothing done with it until after April 1st. It was discussed to arrange a meeting with fire chiefs to go over the firefighter exemption for taxes. Jeff presented the contracts for Coughlin and Gerhart and Susquehanna SPCA for 2023. Donnie made the motion to approve both contracts. Dwight seconded the motion. Mark said the new truck is all taken care of. The broom is here. There is a warranty on it as long as it's being paid for and 90 days thereafter. He said they have been working around the shop getting things caught up. The memorandum of understanding was discussed. We'll have a vote after the executive session. Donnie Smith made the motion to go into executive session at 7:20 p.m. for legal issues. Heather Ross seconded the motion. The board returned from executive session at 8:13 p.m. Donnie made the motion to approve the memorandum of understanding as presented. Heather seconded the motion. With nothing further to come before the board, the meeting was adjourned at 8:25.
Any additions or corrections?
No.
The only correction I would say is the ARPA money. I know it was discussed that it wouldn't be used till after April 1st,
Right.
but never was decided on.
Right.
So, no motion was made, nothing was voted on. Nothing
That it wasn't
approved.
going to be.
It was just discussed.
Okay.
Put off.
Okay.
Anything
Wording
else?
on that, I guess.
I have a motion to accept the minutes
I'll make
with
that
the
motion.
alteration.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried, thank you. Okay, I guess. Okay. We'll go in, Donnie, as a,
They had a meeting last night and I did not make it, so I can't give you anything new as far as what I know what they did. Joanne had sent a notice saying that it should be a short meeting, just reviewing some things, but to tell you what happened there, I can't say.
right. Okay.
That rain? Wow.
It's raining when I came in.
Was
Well,
it?
it was. Wow.
Quite big drops, to be honest.
Sounds like it had a good sized drop there now.
I was getting my second shower.
Oh, jeez. Okay, thank you. On the planning board, there was a special use permit given to the Hebert Fencing LLC up on Owen Evan Road. That's where they're gonna have store their posts and wire and stuff, and they've got a couple, like they usually have once a year a bonfire, because they have, you know, the old material they bring back that can burn, and then old wire and stuff. They usually, the stipulation was that gets cleaned up twice a year, and that the wood that can be burned to be burned once a year. they paid their fee. And then there was discussion on a, let's see, a possible boundary line adjustment or a minor subdivision off of Dock Ridge Road. Trying to help improve the situation up there. There was something else that happened, Doug. They were the main, it was discussed about a possible art gallery on Main Street in Treble. The people are looking into I think it's the old treat shop possibly, and whether it'd be parking area enough for it and stuff, which was kind of a vague presentation, you know. I think there's like 25 feet along the building that could be made into parking.
I think they were just trying to find out, because they're looking into purchasing the building.
Right.
And they were looking to see if there would be enough room for adequate parking for what they wanted to use it for, before they went through with the purchase.
Before they went and
Yeah.
went further with it. I guess there's a tenant upstairs or whatever on it too, right now. But that's basically what entailed. We had some other different person come in about something for next month, right, Mike?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll be there next month.
Pardon?
I will be there next month. He said he'll have it ready this
Good,
week.
good. Okay, let's see. What's next? I guess, Mark, we'll have you give a report if you got anything.
Last month, just working in the shop, not a lot of time, hopefully not spending a lot of money.
I had, when I was down to Quality Hardwoods, Mike Miller said there's water coming out his driveway and it tends to run out in the road. Always has. And you didn't know if there was, how do we control that? How can it?
How does he control it?
Okay, how does he control it?
And it's all springs. That's actually a spring bed up there.
Right.
It's up to
He was
him.
just wondering, if it was, if he would be willing to allow the town to, divert it into the ditch, make a little deeper ditch there, I think, or something. He was just, he said usually, washes out the road, and it will wash the road out in the spring, because there's more water. And he just,
I'll go up and look at it and talk to him.
okay.
Something with it.
Let's see, what else was there? We've got the slide-in sander out there, Mark. It's been sitting out there for 3-4 years, something like that. But it'd be smart, we haven't used it. Could we market it and try to, I haven't looked at it. I don't know what kind of shape's in it. When we bought the Green International, it's International, right? Is that 08, whatever, it's Freightliner or whatever, the International. We put a stainless steel body on it, and we took the box and the slide-in sander off, and it might have value somewhere else. Cause we have all in-bed sanders, in-box sanders, and before it, rots from rust or whatever, and maybe it isn't.
So we don't need it anymore?
We've never used it. Never used it, right? Or did we?
That one that's out there is actually off that one from Unionville. It's up there, that stainless steel one.
Oh,
Stainless steel. It's not
Wasn't
gonna
there-
rot away, but
wasn't there an insert that came with the International? No? Okay.
one of them out there is the one that we got from Unionville.
Oh.
Off that truck.
Okay. So there's two of them out there.
Yeah, there's a couple of them out there.
If one's a stainless steel, maybe we should keep it, but, we don't use one, we won't use two. And I would like to possibly see what we get out of it before the winter's over. It might have some value. It may have no value.
Well, if we're not using it, and it's gonna just rust, whatever the two are, I mean, I don't know the particulars about them.
Well, the one's stainless
I guess-
steel, and that should,
Well, no, I'm saying the one that's
Right,
not stainless
right.
steel.
yeah.
I don't know, Mark, is it worth holding on to for any reason, or,
Yeah, I think so.
okay?
I mean, that's like, hang on to it, not that I wanna be a hoarder, but sometimes you need that stuff.
Back up.
Yeah.
Anybody else got anything for Mark? Okay.
Oh, Doug, I don't know.
Oh, Doug, would you like to give a report? I jumped right at everybody, didn't I?
Oh, that's okay.
Doug?
Okay, cool.
Still extremely quiet. I sent everyone the copy of Oneonta's,
Yep,
okay?
yep.
So, I don't know if everyone's looked at it or has any thoughts about it.
It looks like quite a, you know, something that could really work for Franklin.
Yeah,
You know, it's a few changes as you would
Yeah.
on it. You know, it's, and I think the planning board was really, you know, thought it wasn't a bad idea, a good thing to do, so it's,
I think it's an excellent starting point. We have nothing,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
and I think it's in my opinion, it's a good starting point. The planning board sees something that might be advantageous to adjust it or tweak it, that's fine, but we can
I don't think the
modify
planning
this
board is looking to-
and modify it as we go forward, but right now we have nothing, and we need something, and it looked like a really good model to start off with.
yeah.
I applaud you for finding this, you know.
But, you know, there's a couple of things that I suggested, I don't even know if we can legally do a couple suggestions that I made. I don't know if you can, you know, limit it like that, but,
Do you wanna talk to our attorney, town attorney, go over a couple of those items, or how do you wanna handle it? Cause you have more,
What the
Now-
planning board think of those? I mean, they should have a better grasp as far as what they felt, as far as limitations on boundaries of that sort of stuff.
I don't think they wanna really get involved in the nuts and bolts of it, right? Is that what the impression you got?
I believe, 'cause this is an enforcement thing,
Yes,
not a planning thing.
yeah,
This is how do we enforce the B&Bs.
But right now, we have nothing to
Nothing.
enforce,
Airbnb.
nothing
we
to enforce on.
don't do inspections on them.
Right, we have nothing to enforce on, that's kind of where we're starting off
Yeah,
at, you know?
right.
Um,
But you know, if it takes us a little extra to do it once and do it right, rather than keep modifying it, I think it would be worth the time. And this way, everyone would know the rules.
I think too, it might limit the overbearing work on you, because if you have good structured rules, it's going to limit how many people try jumping in on the program, you know?
Yeah, to have something that's not enforceable or vague is useless to me.
Right, because everyone contests it.
Yeah.
Or if you have something, even if it seems rigid, it makes it clear that this is the following program that you have to abide by.
And I've spoken with people in Oneonta who do short-term rentals, and they say you know, it's good. It's pretty strict, but it's good.
Well, I think the problem is, that's a, section of zoning, section of regs that has come upon us full steam.
Yeah.
With being, you know, if there's like 90 Airbnbs or, you know, short rentals in Franklin, it just baffled me, that number.
That number baffles me too. I don't know how that's possible.
Maybe it's not, I haven't talked to the county to find
Yeah,
out how
yeah.
they've got it broke down.
Yeah.
But even 25 is no problem at all.
Yeah.
Or 50 of them, and if they're not being regulated, the safety factor of,
Well, you see the issues we're having with the unregulated ones.
yep, and the other ones aren't regulated either,
No.
really, I mean, there's
I
no
mean, I spoke
regulation
with
for it.
someone that has, in the township of Oneonta, and that they're getting out of it now, but they've been, and they did, yes, it was an obstacle, but they didn't have an issue with it.
No, nobody has an issue with it.
And along with that, once they met the criteria, they said it was very easy.
Yeah.
I mean, and they were grateful to have the restrictions that existed because they felt it benefited them on the insurance end.
That's the same feedback I got.
So I don't think it's a bad move as far as what we're expecting.
Yeah.
And I think those that are sincere about it will be grateful. I mean, I didn't do a lot, but I did go and talk to him because I knew that they had one.
Yeah.
So they've sold the property now, but they've done it for a spell.
Yeah.
So,
Would you be interested in talking with our attorney or show?
Yeah, you want me to forward what I sent to you guys? You want me to forward that to Cheryl?
I would, and then.
I'll forward to her and then
And
have
make
her
the
look
phone,
at it.
discuss it with her.
Yeah.
You know, just to get us, you know, what she thinks,
Yeah.
what her reservations or approval is, and what
and
we
her
can.
firm's big enough, they have somebody that's bound to
Right,
play in
look
it,
through
you
it,
know,
yep.
so they.
Oh, I'm sure they do, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think that's.
All right, I'll forward to her,
If you would, please.
okay, and just, I'll make a mention of
Yep.
the things that I suggested, and are they viable?
Right. Well, you'll probably forward the paperwork that you sent us, which has got some, you know, where you'd like to, you know, town of Franklin and stuff. No, sounds great. Okay, Heather, I believe you'd be next.
I don't have any
You have
updates.
anything?
I
No updates.
anticipate in the next month or so.
Things will start acting again.
Yeah.
Flaring up again, okay. Okay, any other old business? We haven't got to do the, auditing yet, Dwight, I'm sorry. We gotta get together and get that done. I think by the end of the month, I think
Yeah,
it's gotta
I
get
think
done.
it was closer to.
So we'll get that on the radar. And that's my, oversight or whatever. Anything else on old business? Any questions for anybody? Okay, and new business? I brought the contract with the Delaware County Planning Board. It's a yearly thing we have. They dropped it off at our board meeting, I think is when they dropped it for me. And it's a $3,500 a year contract with the planning department to have a county planner at the planning board, and you know, have assistance from the planning board on any matters they're planning, you know, geared to planning.
So would they have some input on the bed and breakfast discussion?
Actually, Kent did show us Margaretville, no, Middletown, I think they have one. Andy's, I think, has one, I think, and one other town that has a similar thing. But the one, Oneonta, entails a little bit deeper than they did. And Doug found Oneonta's, where Kent, I think he is representative from the county planning board on their boards too. So that's how he knew about those 2 or 3 towns having the same concerns, issues. You know, and another thing that was brought up on that aspect is that eventually towns are gonna have legal expenses. You know, fighting to implement these regulations, there's gonna be people that will buck the system or, you know, fight it. And Teddy Story mentioned to me, what about, you know, all this bed tax we're receiving from the rentals? To have some of that in a legal fund at the county level to help support towns that have got, you know, that might get into legal matters, you know, above and beyond their expense accounts or lawyer fees or whatever, you know, something that actually is affecting the county. The county is receiving the bed tax. So if there's expenses incurred by townships because of the rental and stuff, it almost makes sense that maybe some of that money could go into a legal fund to help support the bed tax collection and, you know, to keep it all, instead of putting it on one town or 2 towns or 3 towns, just have it available. I'm not saying have to use it, but have it, there in case it.
There is also talk of statewide regulations on Airbnbs.
I mean, it's gonna be a
Yeah.
bigger thing, there's no doubt. I mean, in the last 2 years, it's amazing, the expansion. They can't get enough, and people are buying homes to just rent, not short-term rentals. So you know,
Well,
there's
it's a
money
way
in
for
it.
them to recoup some of their investment on a second home.
There's one person that, I don't know if she's doing it this year, it was a lady that rents her house out during the baseball season.
Yeah.
You know, what she gets in those 3 months is more than what her mortgage is paying to stuff her for the year.
You'd be kind of surprised how many up in North Franklin are like that.
Yeah, but their investors are coming in, like the issues we're having, the town is up on Dock Ridge Road. That was all, you know, they're doing it to make money as a profit.
So the county idea is basically to run and support in parallel with the township planning board program, correct?
Yeah, I mean, every town has their own niches, what they
And-
want.
And
what they don't.
basically it would work,
And that's,
and with that, it would give a little bit deeper pockets if you run into like someone that's quote unquote, I'm gonna run the town and just see how much legal debt they want to endure.
Right.
And that's the principle behind it then?
that's the principle, yeah, that's, you know, just because, you know, this is a money maker, quote unquote, I shouldn't say, you know, money maker for the county. But it's amazing how much money they take in from the bed tax. And then they're funding, you know, economic development and the chamber and stuff, which I'm not against. But if there are legal fees that fall back on towns, that would be almost common sense. They're benefiting from this bed tax. You know, maybe the county should have
Well, it's a
possibly something.
reinvestment back into their own security too.
Right, I
You
mean,
know.
that was just Teddy, I can't take credit for it. Teddy thought, geez, maybe they could use some of that money to, you know, help with that. And
Yeah, 'cause
all you can do is ask.
It sounds like that really, at least for Franklin, I mean, it's all liability and no gain at all. I mean,
Well, this,
Well, the gain is you pay for a permit.
okay.
The fee for owning under now is $250 annually. So if we have, like you says,
Right.
if we have 80 supposed Airbnbs, you know, it's a decent chunk
There's
of
some
change.
revenue there.
right, and then, well, like I said, 250 would cover your inspections and stuff too.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be expenses, but that fee, I mean, it's just like our planning board, you know, all the, like this, special use permit and stuff, that was a $250 fee. But they had a special, public hearings, and they had 3 meetings, I think they came to the planning board, you know, there's time for the planning board investment, and the county planner invested, and the owners did too, and they were very cordial about it, it was good. But that's, you know, and it allowed the neighbors to voice their opinions on what they want, have concerns. And it's, you know, zoning is to control development, not stop it. That's my whole feeling on that. Okay, so what's the thought on this contract with the county?
Well,
We've done it for years and years, and renew it at the
It's the
$3,500.
same contract. I mean,
Same contract.
Nothing's changed, is it?
Nothing's changed.
I know I use them a lot.
Well, and that's, I mean, and I know Dan uses them a lot.
Yeah.
They must be on speed dial between Dan and
Yeah.
Kent. You know, and anybody can use it. I mean, it's a county department, but anybody can call and ask questions about this, and it'll help you get maps if you got, you know, where the boundary lines would be and stuff.
And I
if
mean,
it's
Ken is
beneficial to the people that we have
extremely
working for us, I say we move forward with it again.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion, and we have a second.
I'll second it.
Donnie second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Let's do it. And we did, I don't, you wanna talk about the offer from the city or the state about,
Yeah, I don't wanna sign it.
you don't wanna sign it? Okay, no, okay,
It's all it is shared services. I'll sign them with everybody, all the other townships,
right,
you know, because we use them.
yep,
But the problem is, you borrow something from the state, you break it, you own it, fix it. And I
We have
really
a
don't
pretty
need
good line.
anything.
I didn't really see for what the investment was, what benefit we could really gain out of that investment.
We don't.
no, I agree with you, but it was sent to us to be looked at, and we'll respond with, we're not at this, we're not interested. Thank you, but no thank you,
Yeah.
if that's all right, Mike. That'd be all right?
Yeah, that'd be fine with me.
I'll email him back.
Okay, okay, good.
No, it just opens up a lot of
Okay,
can of worms.
yeah. Okay, and then I guess we can open it up for discussion and input. I think we, unless there's something else to discuss. Any concerns?
I could say something.
Go ahead.
Because we do the bed and breakfast in Cooperstown and Hardwick and all that what you're talking about.
Yep,
I don't know if I wanna get involved, but we do it on the other end.
right, right.
And what I also wanted to say was, thank God we didn't go into the drug thing, because nobody's making money.
Right.
I mean, the fact that you can grow your own and do this, why bother having the drug thing going? Everybody that went into that is sitting there with tons of pot in their hands and no place to sell it. You know, so
Right.
it's stupid that we even were entertaining it. All right?
Well, that's how the board felt and the
Yeah.
voters decided, that's great.
Right, and I hope that makes the paper, so they can call me and get aggravated with me. But the other thing would be, at the planning board meeting, it was constantly coming up, and I don't know if this is a planning board meeting thing or the problem seemed to be about surveys. A lot of properties weren't surveyed, and they were just passed on, people buying Tatton Realty stuff and not understanding. And I don't know who these realtors were that were selling the properties, but a lot of these people have no clue what they got themselves into.
Right.
And a lot of it would have been cleared up if they got a survey. They would have realized they should have
Right.
walked away from them.
Well, that's something the planning board does wanna, go through the zoning regs and, you know, change things, you know, clarify them more. The town has always had the feeling that, you know, we'd rather not have to mandate surveys. Surveys are definitely better, there's no doubt, but that's why we have a 3 acre minimum on a simple subdivision. Hopefully it gives you a buffer so you're not building on somebody else's land, but that is no guarantee.
No, I know, and you got enough of them out there that you have to turn the other way
Right, right,
and grant them whatever you have to grant them.
right, get a
you know?
variance or whatever.
You know, you don't wanna really start inviting more of it,
Right, yep,
you
yep.
know?
Okay, well, thank you, Mike. Is that all, or?
Nah, we can, for another time, I got some other stuff.
Okay,
We can get out of here by 7.
over it, wow. Well, is there, I don't think there's any need for executive session, I haven't.
I'd
Oh,
like
there
to
is.
go in there
Oh,
just for a short few minutes.
okay, legal matter, Mark, or? It should
Yeah.
probably, okay. Okay. Garrett made the motion to executive session, short and sweet, isn't that nice?
To subscribe or advertise, call 607-464-4009.